Missouri Secretary of State is threatening to prosecute voters for circulating and signing a petition. Missouri's legislature, likely in violation of our state's constitution, redrew congressional maps without a new census after requests from Washington, D.C. in a plan to send one more Republican to Congress. Missourians have what's called referendum power under our state constitution. Once a law is passed, Missourians have at least 3 months to collect enough signatures from all across the state to put the issue up to a vote of the people. At least, that's how it's supposed to work. Just a few years ago, former Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft used numerous procedural delays to run out the clock, preventing Missourians from even trying to collect signatures to overturn the state's newly enacted abortion ban. A legal challenge to those delay tactics ended up at Missouri's Supreme Court, where the court held that such delays were unconstitutional. So now, just 3 years after these same delay tactics were held to be unconstitutional by the state's highest court, the new Secretary of State, Denny Hoskins, is trying to use them again. Over 100,000 signatures have already been collected from Missourians to overturn the illegally drawn congressional maps, and the Secretary is claiming that all of those signatures have to be thrown out because he delayed the approval process, which is exactly what the court said he could not do. And it's not like he's never heard of this widely publicized recent case involving the office that he currently holds. In fact, he just cited the case in a letter to the group collecting the signatures. But while he found that case, he did not cite a single law supporting his claim that voters or signature gatherers or anyone else can be charged with a crime. That's because that law does not exist. Missouri's Secretary of State appears to be making all of this up to intimidate volunteers and voters from exercising their fundamental rights to check big government gone wild. That's the whole point of the referendum, to check government. And in a functioning government, the Secretary of State would probably be investigated for abusing his authority to threaten Missourians who happen to disagree with him and just happen to believe that Missouri should be run by Missourians, not some bureaucratic schemers in Washington, D.C. Now, we actually do have a law to stop abusive government officials here in Missouri. It's called impeachment. And while the Secretary wants to threaten non-existent misdemeanor charges to interfere with the people's right to petition our government and vote, I think he may want to take a second look at one of the very real election crime sections, and he might want to call a lawyer before he makes his next public statement.